Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, gonna quickly go over all the games from the 4th of March 2021. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button down bottom right hand corner. Helps me out, and also I'm shooting for 50 subscribers. I'm at 41 currently, so help me out. I need 9 more, at least. I want to go higher than that, of course, but for now, shooting for 50. Alright, let's get started with the games for today. Alright, first game was between Buffalo and the New York Islanders. Buffalo still is not doing good, and this game did not help. 5-2, they lost to the Islanders. Scoring began 10:25 of the first. Noah Dobson second from Jordan Eberle and Matthew Barzal. At 16:21 of the first, Matt Martin's third from Casey Zizekas and Cal Clutterbuck. Then at 3:08 of the second, Taylor Hall's third from Cody Eakin. At 14:58 of the second, Anthony Beauvillier's second from Brock Nelson and Josh Bailey. 3:14 of the third, Jordan Eberle's ninth from Anders Lee. Then at 7:23 of the third, Rasmus Ristolainen's third from Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart. At 14:20 of the third, Matt Martin's fourth from Casey Zizekas. Islanders thoroughly outplayed Buffalo in this game. 45-18, they outshot Buffalo in this game. They beat them in the faceoff dot, 56-44. Buffalo zero power plays to Islanders being 0 for 3. Buffalo 8 penalty minutes, the Islanders 2. Hits were 26-13 in favor of Buffalo. Blocks 10-8 in favor of the Islanders. And giveaways were 11 for the Islanders, 6 for Buffalo. Johansson for Buffalo in the loss, 40 saves, 889 save percentage. And Sorokin for the Islanders, 16 saves, also 889 save percentage for the win. Next matchup, classic rivalry here, Rangers versus the Devils. Rangers killed them 6-1. Rangers without Panarin so far have actually not done too bad. Not saying losing Panarin is a good thing, it definitely is not, but other guys have taken over the scoring for him. Alright, scoring began 7:12 of the first. Jack Hughes fifth from Sami Vatanen. Good to see Vatanen getting a point again. I know he's had a lot of health injuries. I forgot the what period that fight was in. It was third period. Alright, 8:28 of the second period. Chris Kreider's 11th on the power play from Ryan Strome and Pavel Buchnevich. Then at 13:57, Chris Kreider's 12th, second of the game from Ryan Lindgren and Ryan Strome. Then at 23 seconds of the third period, Chris Kreider completes the natural hat trick with his 13th of the year from Philip Cheadle. Then at 3:57 of the third, Pavel Buchnevich, his 7th from Alexis Lafreniere. 15:25 into the third, Brendan Smith's 2nd from Phil DiGiuseppe and Kevin Rooney. At 18:27, Alexis Lafreniere, his 4th of the year from Mika Zibanejad. Now at 4:11 of the third period, Michael McLeod fought Brendan Smith. And Lafreniere actually is starting to pick up the pace finally. Good on him. Was it 7 points now? And he had 1 point through like the first 18-20 games, something like that. He's up to 7 now. Definitely good to see him finally getting some points. Alright, for the Devils, they outshot the Rangers 36-19. Yeesh. 6 goals and 19 shots for the Rangers. Not a good night for the Devils goaltending. Faceoffs were 64-36, heavily in favor of the Devils. Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play, Devils 0 for 4. Penalty minutes 13-9, Rangers with 13. Hits 18-17 in favor of New Jersey. Blocks 13-4 in favor of the Rangers. Excuse me. Giveaways 18-14, Devils with 18. Shesterkin made 32 saves for 970 save percentage before he left with an injury. That's a huge loss if that is a long-term injury for him. And Grigoriev came in 3 saves for 1,000 save percentage. Kenzie Blackwood 11 saves, 733 save percentage. And Aaron Dell 2 saves in relief, 500 save percentage. Like I said, not a good night for the goaltending. On to Detroit versus Carolina. Carolina won this one 5-2. Scoring began 10:54 in the first. Philip Zadina's second from Vladislav Nemeshnikov and Sam Gagner. Then, less than 30 seconds later, Carolina responds. Andrei Sveshnikov's 8th on the power play from Dougie Hamilton and Jordan Staal. 7:35 into the second, Philip Zadina's 3rd, second of the game, on the power play from Adam Erny and Evgeny Sveshnikov. As far as I know, no relation between Evgeny and Andrei. Second period, 18:45, Martin Necas's 4th for Nino Niederreiter and Vincent Trocheck. At this point, they go into the third period tie game, but Carolina definitely took over at that point. 45 seconds into the third, Jordan Staal's 8th from Jesper Fast and Dougie Hamilton. 2:50 into the third, Jesper Fast's 3rd from Andrei Sveshnikov and Jordan Staal. At 14:55, Nino Niederreiter's 10th from Martin Necas and Vincent Trocheck. Shots on goal, Detroit won that category 35-32. Carolina won the faceoff dot 57-43. Detroit 1 for 4 on the power play. Carolina 1 for 2. Excuse me again. Penalty minutes 8-4. Carolina with 8 hits, 21-18 in favor of Detroit. Blocks 15-12 in favor of Detroit. And giveaways 16 for Carolina to 10 for Detroit. Bernier 27 saves, 871 save percentage on loss. And I gotta say his name again. Nedeljkovic made 33 saves for 943 save percentage in the win. On to another rivalry. Philly versus Pittsburgh. 4-3 Philly would win this one after losing the last one. 2:46 into the first, Chris Letang's 5th. Then at 3:20 of the first, Mark Friedman scores his 1st of the year against a team that he started the season with, from Sidney Crosby and Jake Gensel. Then at 3:57, Jared McCann's 4th from Kasperi Kapanen and Evgeny Malkin. It's 3-0 at this point, Pittsburgh. Not looking good for Philadelphia at this point. 11:32 into the first, though, they start the comeback. Sean Couturier's 6th on the power play from Travis Konechny and Jakub Voracek. Then at 6:49 in the second, Claude Giroux's 2nd, making it 3-2 at that point, from Oscar Lindblom and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. Philly ties it at 13:37. Scott Lyon's 6th from Claude Giroux and Travis Konechny. Then at 17:52, the game-winning goal, Claude Giroux's 3rd, second of the game, from Nicholas Aube-Kubel and Oscar Lindblom. Alright, Philadelphia outshot Pittsburgh 35-29. Face-offs even, 50% each. Philly 1 for 2 on the power play, Pittsburgh 0 for 2. Penalty minutes 4 each. Heavy hitting game, but not a very overly physical, altercation matchup, which these two usually have. But Philadelphia out-hit them 42-38. Blocks were 9-6 in favor of Philly, and Pittsburgh had 9 giveaways to 1 for Philadelphia. Elliott had 26 saves, 897 save percentage for the win, and Jerry 31 saves, 886 save percentage for a loss. On to a North Division matchup, Winnipeg in Montreal. Winnipeg wins this one in overtime, ending Montreal's 1-game win streak after a losing streak. But they still pick up a point, so not complete end of the world. But it is the team they're chasing, so that kind of hurts. Sorry, like I said, my allergies are still going, so sorry if you hear me in the background here. 10:39 into the first, Paul Stastny's 6th from Blake Wheeler and Neil Pionk. Then at 15:25 of the first, Matthew Burrow's 5th, making it 2-0 at that point. And I forgot to ignore this Artem Zub one because that is from previous game. Ignore that goal. Alright, in the second period, 9:53 in, Brendan Gallagher's 8th on the power play from Tomas Tatar and Corey Perry. 16:53 into the second, Montreal ties it. Tyler Toffoli's 14th from Nick Suzuki and Jonathan Drouin. 3:39 into the third, Winnipeg takes a lead again. Paul Stastny's 7th from Mark Scheifele. 18:36 into the third, Corey Perry's 3rd of the year from Jonathan Drouin and Jeff Petrie ties the game at that point. In overtime, at 4:29 of the overtime, Pierre-Luc Dubois' 5th from Nikolai Ehlers and Kyle Connor, ending the game and probably hurting Montreal at the same time for not making that trade for Dubois. But it's not the end of the world, because you know what? Who knows? Maybe he doesn't do as good for Winnipeg as he might have done for Montreal. Maybe. But we'll never know until his career's over. Alright, Montreal outshot Winnipeg 36-27. They killed him in the faceoff dot, 59-41. 0 for 2 on the power play for Winnipeg, 1 for 1 for Montreal. Montreal with 4 penalty minutes to 2 for Winnipeg. Hits were 42 for Montreal to 24 for Winnipeg. Heavy hitting Montreal game, I gotta say that much. Blocks were 21-14 in favor of Winnipeg. Giveaways 16-12, 16 for Montreal. Hellebuck 33 saves, 917 save percentage in the win. Jake Allen 23 saves, 852 save percentage. Alright, on to Tampa versus Chicago. Amazingly, a matchup that has leadership of that division ramifications. But Tampa ends up winning the game in overtime, thus expanding their lead over Chicago, I believe, in Florida and Carolina. But Chicago picks up a point again. This is how they're staying in the race. They keep losing overtime, non-regulation. Alright, 7:24 of the second. Ryan Carpenter's fourth, shorthanded from Brandon Hagel and Carl Soderberg. At 14:04 of the second, Alex DeBrincat's 12 from Patrick Kane and Connor Murphy. Now, in the third period, finally, Tampa takes control. Minute 4 in, Anthony Cirelli 6, shorthanded from Jan Ruta and Alex Killorn. Then at 2:55, Steven Stamkos 11th from Yanni Gourde. At 4:59 with 1 second left, Alex Killorn scores the game-winning overtime goal, his fourth of the year, from Victor Hedman, thus ending the game. Chicago outshot Tampa 37-34. Tampa won the faceoff dot 60-40. Tampa was 0 for 1 on the power play to 0 for 2 for Chicago. 4 penalty minutes for Tampa, 2 for Chicago. Heavy hitting game again. 41-30. The hits in favor of Tampa. Blocks 29-20 in favor of Tampa. There was a lot of block shots in this game. Holy cow. Giveaways 15-8. Tampa with 15. It's actually shockingly high for this team. Vasilevsky made 35 saves, 946 save percentage for the win. Lankinen 31 saves, 912 save percentage for the loss. On to, another matchup for the Central Division that has division leading ramifications. Florida versus Nashville. Florida won at 5-4. Nashville seems to be getting better of late, so we'll have to see how this goes for them. Alright, 6:29 into the first. Carter Verhaeghe's 8th from Alexander Barkov and Aaron Ekblad. And 9:01 of the first, Mason Marchment, who's had an amazingly good run in the last few games for Florida, scores his first of the year from Aaron Ekblad. Then 59 seconds into the second period, Jonathan Huberdeau's 9th from Patrick Hornquist. At 12:23 of the second, it's 3-0 at this point. Nashville starts getting something back. Matthias Ekholm's 4th from Victor Arvidsson and Roman Josi. 18:44, Florida reestablishes a 3-goal lead, which obviously is a terrible lead to have. Aaron Ekblad's 7th on the power play from Alexander Barkov and Jonathan Huberdeau. 19:34 of the second, Philip Forsberg's 10th from Victor Arvidsson and Matthias Ekholm, making it 4-2 going into the third period. 9:07 into the third, this would end up being the game-winning goal. Aaron Ekblad's 8th on the power play from Alexander Barkov and Keith Yandel. 12:40 into the third, Colton Sissons scores his 4th from Brad Richardson and Philip Forsberg. Then at 18:47 of the third, making a 1-goal game at this point, Ryan Johansson finally scores a goal for this season, his first of the year. I know he missed time with injury. Good to see he's back and healthy, but it's not like he hasn't played at all this year. He has, and this is his first goal. Part of the reason Nashville has not done well this year. And that was scored from Victor Arvidsson and Philip Forsberg. They couldn't get that last goal with 1:03 left. But you know what? They showed a fight in this that really you haven't seen much of from them this year. Shots on goal 38-35 in favor of Florida. Face-offs 64-36 heavily in favor of Nashville. Power plays 2 for 4 for Florida, 0 for 2 for Nashville. Nashville 8 penalty minutes to Florida's 4. Hits are 10-9 in favor of Nashville. Blocks 14-12 in favor of Florida. Giveaways 12-11, Nashville 12. Bobrovsky 31 saves, 886 save percentage for the win. And Rene 33 saves, 868 save percentage for the loss. On to Columbus versus Dallas. A tale of two teams that are sinking hard right now. But Columbus pulls out the win in the two sinking teams. So that helps them. Alright, 18-11 of the second. Boone Jenner's 8th from Nick Foligno and David Savard. At 2:23 of the third, Oliver Bjorkstrand scores his 7th. At 4:05, Eric Robinson scores his 4th from Boone Jenner and Gabriel Carlson, making it 3-0 at that point. Dallas starts a comeback though. 7:35 in the third, Miro Heiskanen scores his 1st from Jamie Benn and Joe Pavelski. That right there is partly what's hurting Dallas. They need Heiskanen to be doing a bit more than just one goal so far this year. I know they've only played like 17, 18 games, but still, it took him that long to get his 1st. He needs to do a bit more. But they need a lot of guys on this team doing a bit more than they are so far. 10:48, Jason Robertson's 3rd from Esa Lindell and John Klingberg. I mean, you definitely can't blame Pavelski and Klingberg. I'd say both have been doing really well. And honestly, this Robertson kid, since he came up, has been. Esa Lindell with only 1 point. I mean, he's a defensive defender, so it's not that surprising, but could help with a bit more. And Jamie Benn definitely could provide a bit more. And they're definitely missing Tyler Seguin. That hurts. And you can tell it's hurting at this point. Shots on goal 24-22 in favor of Dallas. Faceoffs 55-45 in favor of Dallas. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play, 4 penalty minutes each. Dallas out-hit Columbus 20-13. Blocks were 19-13 in favor of Columbus. Giveaways 18-15, Dallas with 18. Korpisalo 22 saves, 917 save percentage for the win. And Anton Khudobin 19 saves, 864 save percentage. Alright, a rematch between the Tkachuk brothers. Ottawa versus Calgary. Sorry, I like saying it that way. It's Calgary. Alright, Calgary, as you can tell, killed them 7-3. This one started 2:22 into the game. Brett Ritchie scores his 1st as a Calgary Flame from Derek Ryan and Rasmus Anderson. Then at 2:59, 37 seconds later, Dylan Dubé's 4th from Matthew Tkachuk and Elias Lindholm. Then at 5:25 of the first, Ottawa responds, making it 2-1. Josh Norris's 5th from Brady Tkachuk and Connor Brown. 11:56 into the first, Sean Monahan's 5th unassisted. 19:20, Josh Levo's 1st as a Calgary Flame from Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan. So we come out of the first 4-1, Calgary leading. 7:16 into the second, Dylan Dubé's 5th, 2nd of the game from Matthew Tkachuk and Mark Giordano, making it 5-1 at that point. Then at minute 17 into the third, Dylan Dubé completes the hat trick, his 6th of the year from Matthew Tkachuk. Alright, then 2:21 into the third, Artem Anisimov's 2nd on the power play from Eric Brandstrom and Josh Norris. 6 minutes into the third, Ryan Dzingel's 3rd of the year, 1st since returning to Ottawa from Thomas Chabot. Then at 7:05 of the third, Derek Ryan scores his 1st of the year from Brett Ritchie. So Brett Ritchie had a good start with the Calgary Flames, 2-point game. Matthew Tkachuk outdid Brady Tkachuk in this game again, 3 assists to 1. Alright. Ottawa outshot Calgary actually, 32-29. Faceoffs were 53-47 in favor of Ottawa. Ottawa 1 for 6 on the power play. 0 for 1 for Calgary. Ottawa had 2 penalty minutes to 12 for Calgary. Hits were even, 16 each. Calgary did more in the block category, 11-8. Giveaways, Calgary had 14 to Ottawa's 11. Not a good night for the goaltending of Ottawa. Matt Murray had 7 saves for a .636 save percentage. Yikes, that's awful. And Dackard, 15 saves, .833 save percentage in relief. Rittich, 29 saves, .906 save percentage for the win. definitely did enough to win the game. That's all that matters. On to another North Division matchup, Toronto versus Vancouver. And this is the last game of the night. So Vancouver won 3-1. So Toronto, coming off of 3 straight amazingly good games against Edmonton, gets beat by Vancouver. Gonna let that sink in for a little bit, because you know what? Vancouver fans should be happy about this, and Toronto fans should be saying, what the hell? We can shut down McDavid and Draisaitl to 1 point for Draisaitl in 3 games and none for McDavid? And we can't shut down the second worst team in our division? What is happening? This doesn't make sense. But everybody has an off day, so maybe it was just that. First period, 2:59 in, Jake Virtanen scores his second of the year. For a guy that creates a lot of problems, he had a good game tonight for Vancouver. 17:15 into the first, Pierre Engvall scores his second of the year from Ilya Mikheyev. We come out of the first tied 1-1. Vancouver gets to score the only 2 goals after that. 11:29 into the second, Jake Virtanen's third on the power play from Adam Gaudette and Tyler Myers. 2 goals for Virtanen tonight. Still trade bait. Was supposedly going to be traded to the Ducks at one point. I'm assuming that has fallen through. And then at 9:13 of the third, Bo Horvat's 10th from Alexander Edler and Nate Schmidt, sealing the game at that point. Toronto outshot Vancouver 32-28. Face-offs, Vancouver won that category 54-46. Toronto 0 for 2 on the power play. Vancouver 1 for 1. Penalty minutes 4 for Vancouver, 2 for Toronto. Hits 20-18 in favor of Vancouver. Blocks 18-13 in favor of Vancouver. And giveaways 8-3, Toronto with 8. Hutchinson made 25 saves for .893 save percentage in the loss. And Demko 31 saves, .969 save percentage for the win. Alright, going to touch on 2 things that were announced after the games tonight. Geoff Ward of Calgary was fired. Their head coach is no longer their head coach. They have since rehired already Daryl Sutter. For you Calgary fans out there, you'll remember him for being your head coach in the early to mid 2000s. Early to mid 2000s, before he went on to LA, where he would win 2 Stanley Cups as the head coach. He had been an advisor for the Anaheim Ducks this season, so he has now moved on from them and is a head coach again, for a team he's already head coached before. Then also there was the sad news of Wayne Gretzky's father passed away today. I believe he was I think he was like 90 or 91, or was he older than that? I didn't see his actual age, so I'm sorry. It was just something that popped up from TSN on my phone. So thought I'd just say unfortunate and condolences to the family. I know when they said Wayne Gretzky said something, I have not seen it yet, so go check it out, see what he said. I mean, his father played a big part of his life, if you know anything about Gretzky's career, so you know this is probably a very devastating day for him. And like I said, condolences to them and everybody that knew him and loved him. My condolences. Alright, other than that, I'm going to end the video here. If you have not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to be notified when new video drops. And make sure to like, comment, and share. And I will see you all. Oh, one more little thing of news. The hit yesterday against Nathan MacKinnon, the guy who hit him, Joaquin Blichfeld, did get a 2-game suspension today for that hit. Okay, other than that, I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.